Dogs have been labeled as man's best friend. But coming up, we'll chat with the woman who has proven to be the best doggone friend and a lifesaver to thousands of dogs in Puerto Peñasco. Barbara Mumaugh, founder of Barb's Dog Rescue, on this episode of the Rocky Point Podcast.
Welcome, Puerto Peñasco lovers. This is the Rocky Point Podcast with award-winning host Thomas Baldrick.
Hello, I'm Thomas Baldrick. Thank you for being with us. The point of this episode is to highlight the wonderful mission of Barb's Dog Rescue in Puerto Peñasco and hopefully then inspire you to support, which you can do in many ways. Barbara Mumaugh, what a story you have.
Yes, I do have a wonderful story.
So for someone who doesn't know, maybe they've just seen the sign on the way into town. What is Barb's Dog Rescue?
Barb's Dog Rescue is a safe place for dogs to come and get well physically and mentally, and then to find their perfect families.
I know you use the word rescue for a reason. Some aren't just strays. Some are starving, no water, even abuse.
A lot of them are like that. And most of my dogs come from animal control. What that means is if I was to say no, it would be the end of their lives. And so I take them and give them a chance on having a wonderful life.
And they do have a wonderful life. They seem happy there. I learned about doing the shuffle there. You can't you can't walk as normal because you'll step on somebody's little paws or head.
Everybody's always so happy to have visitors. Everybody wants the attention.
I don't want to dwell on it, but could you pick a dog or two out of your heart or your memory and just share a couple of examples so people understand what these dogs have been through?
Well, I have one that comes to mind on her way back to Rocky Point, coming through Sonoran. We saw a dog laying in front of a taco stand, and he literally had no skin on his entire legs and one side. And so I stopped. I turned around. I made a U-turn and turned around and got the dog. And we found out that the dog had been drugged behind a car, and it broken the leg and ripped all the skin off, the one entire leg, the hips, the side, and we brought him to the rescue and hospitalized him for a couple of days, and then brought him back and doctored him. And then he was going to require an amputation. And so I sent him to California, and he had his amputation in California and went to a wonderful family. And I get updates with him riding on the golf cart with the man. And so he has a wonderful, wonderful life where he had no chance. He was just laying there waiting to die.
Your colleague Cindy toured me the place, and there was one dog that just saw me behind the other side of the fence and just started barking ferociously. And I said, "What happened to him?" And she said, "Oh, his paw was chopped off by a machete." And then there was another dog, she said, was just had its head chained to a tree, so it didn't even have room to get around. And I just wondered, I'm sure you've asked this yourself, how could people be so cruel?
It's something that I ask every day, and it simply just rips your heart out. You get angry, but I believe that anger is not healthy for you, and so I have the anger for a little bit, but then I have to let it go, and I have to focus on the love and the care to make the dog healthy, mentally and physically again, so that they have a chance on having the wonderful life that I think all dogs deserve.
We'll take a quick break. We'll leave it there and let people sit on that.
Okay.
All right. Rocky Point lovers, our ship has finally come in, thanks to Cruise and Maritime Voyages. Our friends from the UK have invested heavily in turning the long-time dream of a cruise destination into reality. Introducing the Treasures of the Sea of Cortez cruise. This one-of-a-kind experience sails round-trip from Puerto Peñasco, embarking on an 11-night discovery of some of Mexico's best-kept secrets. Enjoy breathtaking natural wonders, amazing wildlife, spectacular islands, and destinations such as Mazatlan, Cabo San Lucas, La Paz, and more. Sail in an intimate, luxurious setting on board the Astoria, a lovely ship with room for only 550 passengers. She features delicious onboard cuisine, activities, entertainment, and service second to none. There are only 6 voyages between December and February, so book now and turn Puerto Peñasco's dream cruise into yours by taking the Treasures of the Sea of Cortez cruise. As part of the Rocky Point podcast, you can save $200 by getting a free one-category upgraded cabin for 2. Just use the code RPP. That's a $200 value with the code RPP. Don't worry, you'll find all this information on our website at rockypointpodcast.com. Discover your slice of Rocky Point paradise at Sonoran Sun 510 East. This all newly redone one-bedroom condo has the beachiest theme in Puerto Peñasco, spectacular views of the Sea of Cortez, and spectacular online reviews from real guests like these. Exceptional, adorable condo with attentive service, amazing in every way. This place is unbelievable. You will not want to leave. Beautiful, clean, comfortable, and cozy. We will definitely be back. Sonoran Sun 510 East has 5-star ratings on Airbnb and VRBO. With perfect 10s on Booking.com, the site made the condo one of its top picks, calling it a booker's favorite. Want a place to relax, rejuvenate, rekindle romance? Just search Sonoran Sun 510 East to watch the YouTube videos. Book online or book direct and save by calling 602-688-3330. That's 602-688-3330. Create your own amazing guest experience. Stay and play at Sonoran Sun 510 East.
Now back to the Rocky Point podcast.
Let's give people an idea of some of the numbers. How many dogs over the years have you rescued and gotten new homes? And just give people a perspective on the magnitude.
Well, I've been there for 18 years. And so my memory is not as good as it used to be, so I'd have to refer back to my books. But I can take you back. 2 years ago, I had 1,078 adoptions. Last year, I had 1,320 adoptions. And there's, in the last 2 years, we've averaged 300 dogs on site at almost all times.
And I know they have the run of the place. I mean, you're queen, no doubt about it, but there's a lot of princes and princesses there.
It's their facility. And I tell everybody that comes, the dogs are here and the people are here, and I'm sorry. But here, it's all about the dogs.
So talk about the roam that they have, where they go, where they sleep.
A lot of them have their own pen or space, and they all have a doghouse, beds in the doghouse, and I believe in having big pens with a few dogs. My inside facilities, the one that have the inside access, has a tendency to get a little fuller because they can be inside or outside, and so they have room to move. But the ones that are actually in the pens, I believe that they need room to move.
Got it. Yeah. So talk about the various things that you do to get the dogs back to a healthy enough place and a happy enough place that they can have that life that you want them to have.
Well, the medical can be numerous things. So we deal with any of the medical issues that they have and try to make them medically whole again or medically able to live a life with a family. A lot of it's just emotional, and that just takes a lot of love, a lot of time, a lot of patience for them to learn to trust again.
Right.
And once they trust me, they once again can feel love and give love. A lot of the dogs that come in are just shut down because they have no reason to keep going, and they have just shut down. Some come around fairly fast. Others take longer. Some take a long, long time. But the key is love.
You love what you do.
I absolutely love what I do.
And you better, because for you, there is no off season and no off days.
I work 24/7 and have for 18 years. And I'm very happy with it. Yes, I do get tired. And sometimes I go, oh boy, I just really need to have a day off. But then I'll look at a dog that really needs me. None of that matters. I've had a full life. I've had many, many, many wonderful things in my life and had lots of opportunities, done a lot of things, been there, done that many, many times. And now it's just all about the dogs. And I feel so blessed to be able to do that. I'm just so grateful that I'm given the opportunity to take care of these dogs.
So I know something happened in your life prior to these 18 years. And I know it's something that I would have a hard time wrestling with, but I know you've talked about it before. Let's fill people in on your daughter and what happened.
My daughter was crossing the street on her 21st birthday and was hit by a car. And she passed 32 days later. And my world ended. Nothing mattered anymore. And I knew that if I took my own life, that I wouldn't be with her. And so I had to find a reason to keep living. And I did many things with mediums and psychics and metaphysical churches, and friends drugged me down here against my will. And I saw the dogs, and I instantly knew that that was my salvation, that the dogs were going to save me. And so I went back and made arrangements and moved here. And so I always say the dogs saved me first, and I've just continued to save them all these years.
So how did you know? You said you just knew.
I just knew. It just clicked. I just knew.
And what was it? Was it a certain dog? Was it multiple? Just identifying the problem?
Multiple dogs that needed somebody to help them because nobody cares. And there was another lady here doing it, but on a very small scale. And I have such love and passion for the dogs. The dogs are my love.
How did you get to where you are today with the property and with the facility and all the help and room that you have?
Slowly. I built the house, sort of the structure of the house, and moved in and brought 10 dogs. And then just over the years, more dogs, and I funded it with my own funds, and until I ran out of my funding, and then I started asking for help, and help started coming, and I started expanding, and I'd build one or two pens, and wait a while, and more help would come in, and we'd build a couple more pens, and just kept building. And I was very, very blessed to have Jim and Mary come into my life, and they made a huge difference. They paid for all of my infrastructure, is what Jim calls it, and so they're really responsible for me having such a beautiful facility. You
have some wonderful people, wonderful hearts helping you who are like your family, but you do have a family member. Talk about your sister Dee and how I don't know what you've done to get her involved this year.
Well, I think she just loves dogs. Okay.
And you.
And me. Honestly, I couldn't be without her help because I'm only one person.
Right.
And now I have two facilities. And so there was no way I could run back and forth in between the two facilities and keep both facilities running the way that they need to be ran. And so in comes my sister and saved the day and has taken over running our maternity facility. And it is a place for mommies to come and have a safe place to give birth or to raise their babies.
So she does, we'll give her a shout out, Twin Dolphins Realty by day and then Barb's Dog Rescue by night.
At night. Every single night for, 4 or 5 years now. Yeah.
Fantastic. So what is your history with dogs? Were you a dog lover your entire life? Was your daughter?
My daughter was the lover of all things, all strays. It didn't matter what it was. People, dogs, cats, squirrels, mice, and she always rescued everything and brought all the strays home. And so I got to take care of them, except for the mice. I had to draw the line. But it was just a given. That this is a way for me to carry on helping the strays.
So she lives through this mission.
She does, yeah.
How so?
Oh, her presence. She's there. I know she's there, and then I know that she helps me with my difficult dogs because she was a very special young lady. A lot of love and compassion. Better than me. I never thought about helping dogs or helping really anybody. It was all about making money and buying the material things, and that totally changed my life and my way of looking at everything.
I want to get into what you need and how people can help, but set the scene just for your daily supply requirements and what that costs.
Daily, just in dog food, at the main facility, we go through 150 pounds of adult food, 160 pounds of puppy food, 3 cases of canned food, and that's just the basic food.
Mm-hmm.
We make skinless chicken breast, rice, carrots, green beans every single day for babies or dogs that need more help getting healthy and getting some weight on them. And so we go through 12 pieces of chicken breast every day and, 4 pounds of rice. And,
and then there's medications and there's veterinarians.
That's just the food intake. It doesn't count treats, and that doesn't count the maternity facility. That's only the main facility.
Wow.
A lot of the dogs are on medication, or at least when they come in, everybody is vaccinated according to age, and vaccines are very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's spayed and neutered, and that's just for one facility.
So I know at the heart, let's start with the adoption process, and then we can get into the other ways people can support you and volunteer and so forth. But adoptions are at the heart of what you're doing at that rescue. Talk about how you do that process.
Well, it's very easy. I'm an Arizona corporation, 501c3 nonprofit, and I run 100% on donations, so I have no adoption fees. What I insist upon is it be a good family, and so you come and you see who you bond with, and I make you raise your hand and swear to me that you're going to love this baby like one of your children, and then you can go with your dog.
I've seen that bonding process happen. Explain it for someone who hasn't.
You walk through and somebody jumps out and touches your heart, and there's an instant connection. It's like magic because it just happens. And that's the dog that the people take home. I see it every single day.
You're literally bursting at the seams right now, aren't you?
I am bursting. Yes. Animal control calls almost on a daily basis. And if I say no, it's the end of the life of that dog. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Stack them on top of each other, make a second level. I don't know. But I just can't say no. Because it would literally be the end of their life. I couldn't handle that.
That's a heavy burden, my dear.
Yeah, maybe. But it's just how I am. I can't say no. Now, unfortunately, I have to say no to big dogs quite often because I have to have an empty pen for them. But a puppy or a small breed, you just throw them in the mix and it's okay. It always works out.
What are some of the other ways other than adopting a dog or dogs that people can help you?
It takes a village, and I actually have a village helping me. Food, blankets and sheets and cleaning supplies, swimming pools and tarps and money. And I actually have a big village that helps me because I don't have fees. And so I run 100% on donations. It's the people that are around me, my village, that makes it happen. I just do the work. I make it run on a daily basis, but if it wasn't for the people supplying all the needs, I couldn't do it.
I know you have enough washers and dryers to run a laundromat.
Well, we need 2 washers per facility, 1 dryer I only do one dryer per facility. And then we have to have spares.
Right.
Because if one breaks down, we have to be able to swap it out while we get the other one in to repair.
There's also a good family activity that people can just come and spend time and provide company and love too, can't they?
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. I ask for volunteers to come and help do the night feeding, and I've had families that have come with their kids, helping and mixing food and getting the food out to the dogs and feeding the babies in the kennels and making sure their beds are clean and ready. And it's so heartwarming to me to see these kids get right in there and help.
In this crazy world, in this world that we talked about where people mistreat dogs, there are still wonderful, good-hearted people, and they're everywhere.
Oh, yes, yes.
I dare not ask you your age in female years or dog years, but what would you say? Obviously, we all get older. What's the future like? How long can you do this? Do you do this until you're not here anymore?
I do this until I'm not here anymore, and then just dig a hole and bury me with my dogs.
You've thought about it.
Oh, yes, of course. I don't plan on going anywhere, but we never know when God will call us home. And this is a question I'm asked quite often, actually, is do I have a backup plan? Yes, I have a board of directors, and they'll figure it out.
Your daughter, how much does this honor her, and how much does she look down and appreciate all that you've done in her memory?
Oh, this is honoring her memory. Yeah, she looks down all the time, and I feel like she's very, very proud of her mom.
At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter who saved who more, whether the dog saved you more or whether you saved the dogs more, does it?
Everybody has to have a purpose, or I think that you just literally couldn't get out of bed. And I lost that when I lost my daughter. So the dogs gave me that reason and that drive back. And so they made it possible for me to save them.
Well, you are in the right place. There's no doubt about that.
Yes.
Let's do this again in 18 more years, okay? If not sooner, of course.
Well, maybe not 18, maybe 10, okay?
May God bless you. I hope we made a difference today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Barb can't do it alone. Friends and dog lovers, she could use any support you can kindly give. And if you enjoy this podcast, please support us as well. You can do it by subscribing, downloading episodes, leaving a 5-star review, and connecting with us and sharing in social media. You'll be eligible to win prizes and know you help keep us going and growing. Visit RockyPointPodcast.com for more info about this and about Barb. I'm Thomas Baldrick. Until next time, adios, friends. We appreciate you being part of the Rocky Point Podcast.